Hi everyone, let's get running through the Source Capital's live webinar for the release of Chapman Court in Fleetwood. The project is due to go live at 10 AM on Thursday. We have got the largest attendee ratio today, so if anyone has got any questions, please do let me know and we can run through that. Also, my number and details will be available on the next slide. So I'm John Wilson, the Relationship Director here at Source. Like I said, my email address and phone number is down at the bottom. So a little bit about Source. We've got an awful lot of new attendees onto the webinar today. So the Source Capital team is made up of a real blend of individuals that bring a different array of skills from different backgrounds and expertise into the business. The directors of Source itself have over 100 years in property experience. That covers everything from peer-to-peer business lending, peer-to-peer property lending, property development themselves, and owning and operating their own investment portfolios. And they continue to work on their own developments as part of the Source Group. As property industry leaders, we'll run through exactly what we have in place here at Source, the type of opportunities that go live, and the way that we're structured. If you'd like to jot down my details, they are just on the slide now. My name is John Wilson, the Relationship Director, and my phone numbers are as well. So as a platform, as a group, we have over £277 million worth of active UK developments. That's right through the UK, from a major large-scale development in Manchester, which is our Regent Plaza development, which is around about £155 million for a GDV with 525 units. We have over 120 offices right the way through the UK, from down in Bournemouth right through to the top of Scotland. We have a 100% repayment rate as a platform, so that's of capital and interest expected. We never charge investors, whether that be investing into a project, whether it be midway through a project, reinvesting into another project, or withdrawing funds from the platform. And you can invest and earn up to a 12% return per annum on investments. Our values, we're committed to our customers, we listen to feedback, we then intend to operate upon that feedback and change the way that the platform is structured, the type of opportunities that go live. As you can see today, we like to open up the due diligence of our projects, what we look at, how we operate, how we assess the deals and layer those for investors. And we like to show right the way through how that project operates and works. We take risk seriously, so alongside being transparent, we look at the due diligence of a project. On average, we probably assess about 15 deals per week. We usually go live on the platform with around about 3 or 4 projects per month. We're honest and open, similar to being transparent. We'll show investors exactly what they'll be investing into at the start of a project. Right the way through the project, they'll be monitoring survey reports, so you're able to see the progress of that development. You're able to see exactly what the valuation is at the time, because it's an independent report that takes place, and we share that same report with investors. We have diversity and innovation. So currently we're working on redeveloping our website. So that'll be the back end and the front end. So that'll allow for a greater user experience for investors running through the projects, whether that be going into a new project or checking on the current statuses of investments. And we're looking for constant improvements. So if there's anything that you see here today in the webinar, or there's any way that you'd rather the information be presented in the due diligence documents, please do let myself know or the team at Source Capital. A little bit about the borrower. So the borrower themselves, Francis Ecke, is the director of iStatus BTL Limited. That is a company that's been created for the purchase and refurbishment and sale of this investment property. They've been credit checked, they've had a financial review, and they have also been AML checked. So a little bit about Francis himself. By profession, he's an accountant. He's been in property for over 20 years now, whether that be buying and selling, and also owning and operating his own buy-to-let portfolio, which consists of HMOs as well. Upon completion of a full application, the borrower was credit checked and a financial review has taken place. And alongside this, it goes through the same checks as every other borrower, which is going through Know Your Client and also full anti-money laundering checks. So the property itself at the minute is a 12 apartments, all contained within one property. So it's classed as one title. And that'll be crucial later on when we start to run through the actual details of the project itself and how the profit is generated from this development. So allocated to the rear is parking, and it's located extremely close to Fleetwood docks and the beach. It's fully occupied at the minute with ASTs in place. Like I said, it's located right near the docks. It's a great investment opportunity for the developer who's looking to split the title and sell the properties independently. And we'll look at the valuations in a few minutes' time. And we'll also look at the rental yields that have been predicted by an independent RIC surveyor. So all the apartments, as mentioned, are fully occupied and achieve a combined annual rate in excess of £53,000. Most apartments have long-standing tenants, which are due for rent reviews. Again, this leads into the RICS independent survey that's been taken place, and the price has increased of those rental yields expected, which is fantastic news. You'll see here the building itself. So it just extends slightly beyond the 20 miles per hour sign, and it goes right the way through to the white building near the red car. So it's that large cross section right the way through. You can see here internal images. The plot itself is in perfect condition. It needs a very slight refurbishment. However, as mentioned, it's fully occupied. It's in livable condition. It'll just be a slight modernisation of the properties and a title split, which will help raise the GDV. Again, current images of the hallway, bedrooms, bathrooms, and also living space. So the overall summary of the project, the borrower has exchanged contracts on the purchase of the property itself. It requires a very light refurbishment and a title split. What that effectively means is that the borrower can sell the individual flats as their own entity. At the minute, the property is on one title, which means it needs to be sold as an entire block. So the borrower is raising £495,000 for the purchase and the refurbishment of the property. The plan is then to sell the apartments. They'll be sold as investment opportunities for investors during that 6-month period. And investors investing into the project will receive first legal charge over the whole property. The borrower themselves have invested £110,000 of their own capital that would go towards a purchase price of the property. So there's a healthy safety margin right the way through. We'll start to break down the figures on the next few slides. So anyone who's joining us recently, we've not really gone over too much in terms of the depth of the project, and we'll reiterate some of the points a little bit later. The monies raised will be drawn down periodically upon submission of an independent monitoring survey, with the majority of the works being a slight refurbishment and title split. The majority of the funds will be utilised early on into the project. So the location is right on the tip of Fleetwood docks, right near the waterfront and the stunning beach that's in place. Fleetwood really is known for its stunning seafronts and magnificent landscapes, as we'll see on the next image that runs past. And Fleetwood's in the northern end of the Blackpool tramway. It's around about 8 miles to Blackpool itself. It's about an 18-minute drive just because of the nature of the land. Over the last few years, over the last 5 years, the property prices have increased 15% in the area. So you can see here the stunning location of the properties. So it makes for really good investment opportunities, whether that's running it as standard serviced accommodation or whether it's going through as standard rental properties. We've just had a very good question coming in So this question is, considering the COVID restrictions on ending tenancies, how is the developer planning to ensure he has vacant flats to sell, especially if restrictions extend well into 2021? So the developer himself is looking to position these for investors, whether they're looking to include the current tenants in situ or create new tenancy agreements. I don't know if the question relates as well to the slight refurbishment. However, all of the current tenants have been notified when the exchange has taken place that there'll be slight renovations to the apartments. I hope that's answered it for you. If not, just pop in another question, we'll be able to run through it for you. So there we can see a graph showing the 15% increase in property prices during the 5-year period from November 2015. So here we break down the figures, mainly for investors. So the current loan amount that we're looking to raise is £495,000 with a forecasted GDV. So as I mentioned earlier, this is one of the largest attendances that we've had for a live webinar for a project launch. So the GDV means what is the gross development value, and that's the end value that those properties will sell for. So this particular development, once the properties have had the title split, they'll be looking to sell for a total of £800,000, and that's split between all of the apartments. So there's a mix of 1 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms and 3 bedrooms. The 1 bedroom apartments, and there's 5 of them, will all be sold for £60,000. The 2 bedrooms will all be sold for £70,000, and there are 6 of them. And the 3 bedroom, which is just 1 property, will be sold for £80,000, totaling a total GDV of £800,000. So the rate for investors, which are looking to invest into this particular project, is 10% per annum for any investment up to £20,000. For any investment over £20,000, the interest rate will be increased to 12%. The loan term itself is 6 months, with a repayment of interest and capital at the end of the term. The loan security for investors is first legal charge over the underlying asset, the current property. There's a personal guarantee against the developer himself, and also there's the borrower's equity, which in this particular project is £110,000. The loan exit is an open market sale aiming at the investor market. There's no planning application needed because it's a simple refurb, and it's been RICS independent valuation completed, and it is SAS and ISA compatible with a minimum investment of just £250. So we run through a full financial breakdown now. So the purchase price is £550,000. The cost of works is £55,000. The legals is £1,500, with stamp duty land tax coming in at £22,000. The survey costs are £1,250, bringing the total cost to £629,750. Borrower's equity in total is coming in at £106,700, and the total loan required is £495,000. The finance costs come in at £52,717.50, giving a developer's total profit just over £117,500, with a forecasted GDV of £800,000, bringing the forecasted profit to GDV of 15%, the loan to value to GDV of 62%, the loan to value of purchase price at 80%, and loan to value of works of 77%. So the exit strategy: upon completion of the property, the borrower is going to sell off market and is looking at the investor market, as we've mentioned. A quick rental breakdown for the properties. The total combined on the latest RICS valuation will be coming through at £62,000 per annum. So that'll be broken down as the 1 bedrooms coming in at 3,912, and there's 5 of them. 2 bedrooms at 6,000, and there's 6 of them, and the 3 bedrooms coming in at £6,600. We've just had another question pop up. How do the prices quoted for the GDV compare with recent sale prices of similar flats with sitting tenants? So within the area itself, the local area, the sales prices are very accurate to the current market sold prices. The actual average sold in the area, and it doesn't stipulate whether it's 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, or 3 bedrooms, but it's £74,000. So the GDVs are very accurate, if not conservative, within the market space itself. So investor security, we've touched on a couple of these points, but the first legal charge is effectively in place for all investors, whether you invest £250 or £250,000. So that is registered on behalf of the investors against a security trust. The property values can go up as well as down, so your capital is at risk, and we notify right the way through our due diligence reports and on our website. These investments are only available for high net worth or sophisticated investors. The personal guarantee and borrower's equity has been signed, and the borrower's equity is £110,000 in this project. And the drawdown of funds are released when required throughout the project. And as a platform, we are an FCA regulated platform, registered under JARC 2 Limited, and we are an appointed representative of rebuildingsociety.com. Here you can see a breakdown of how that security structure works, really. So down at the bottom, we've got the loan capital coming in at £495,000, the interest payable to investors. You've got then the profit that the developer is expected to achieve, and you've got the equity that is in place. So we see a really healthy amount of safety margin for our investors in this particular project, with a 38% downturn in market conditions in place, which will then start to impact the investor's investment. Up until that point, it'll be eaten into the borrower's equity and also their profit. The legal team in place for this particular development are just below. There's not a huge amount to say about the legal teams. How to invest? You'll need to first visit sourcecapital.co, register an account if you've not already registered. You'll then need to pick the project. This one is Chapman Court, and then invest into the project to earn up to a 12% return per annum. Got a few special offers in place. So we've got a 2% cashback. That is an additional 2% on the original investment if you invest over £20,000. And we have a £50 bonus for any new investors on the platform. Like I mentioned earlier, I've got quite a few new investors here today. So anyone who invests into the project over £500 receives a £50 cashback at the end of the term of the project. There's a few ways that you can invest with ourselves. You can do a regular investment. So it's instantly accessible online from £250 right the way through to the total loan amount. In this case, it's £495,000. You can invest through an IFISA, so an innovative finance ISA. So you can invest up to £20,000 per annum, tax-free, whether that be in one project or diversified against many other projects. We've got an option to invest through your pension, whether that be through a SIP or a SAS. You can also refer a friend. If you're a current investor or you're a new investor to us and you want to introduce either friends, family, colleagues, you are able to do this through the dashboard where you've got a referral code. You can earn up to £250 for investments of £20,000 or more. The project, as I mentioned earlier, is live at 10 a.m. That is on Thursday. So we've got quite a bit of time yet to have a look through the project. As I mentioned, it is probably one of the largest attendances that I've had on a live webinar. So anybody that is looking to invest into the project, please do let me know as soon as possible. I'll be able to send out the full due diligence report. I'll then be able to answer any questions or queries you may have. If you'd like to contact myself, my details are just below. It's john.wilson@sourced.co, and my number is 07925 835 001. And I'd just like to say thank you very much for joining today. Again, if you've got any questions or queries that you've not been able to ask, please do send me an email, get in touch with myself. The project's due to launch on Thursday. We expect the project to fund relatively quickly, whether that be within the same day or a couple of days. So please do your due diligence beforehand. And if you need anything, let me know. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful evening.